turn off on that. We'll drive up it and kind of look and see if that's the street that I thought it was on the other day. Really, dude? You just had to be in front of me, didn't you? Oh my God. Yeah. Because that's what we want to look at, is the back end of a box truck. Yeah, you get over there. Get you. Oh, these are the weirdest. Yeah, green arrow. And then you cut clear across over here like this. There we go, St. George Boulevard. I think this is the... We want to go straight. I don't want to go back. Expensive, and my insurance will not be happy with me. Now in Utah, you can make a right turn on a red as soon as it's safe. I stopped and asked when we were going through the first time, but Daniel made a good point. In Michigan, not Michigan, yeah, Minnesota. Oh, I got a green arrow. Let's go. You have to stay in this lane. You can't go all the way over. Which I don't think is the case in California. I don't remember, to be honest. I do it all the time. I've never gotten in trouble for it. No, I don't think this wasn't the street I drove down. Pretty sure it wasn't anyway. I don't remember seeing it. Jump. A kid on a Vespa. That's not a kid. That guy's like my age. So I'll tell you where I screwed up real good. And I did screw up real good.
Continue on East Riverside Drive for 1.5 miles.
Take me back to the 15. I was going to pull off here in St. George and show you this. There's a really straight street that's really cool. And they've got some really neat looking old buildings and all that stuff. And then I realized I pulled over because I'm like, I'm in the wrong spot, and this layout of this town isn't making sense for what I drove the other night. I got a pretty decent sense of direction most of the time. I tell you what, Utah, you need to learn how to make a damn road. They're supposed to be flat, not boom, 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 boom. This is ridiculous. The whole damn state's like this. Yeah, I get off and I pull over, like, okay, this isn't making sense. So I pull over and I start looking at the map. I'm like, okay. None of the roads in this town line up with the freeway the way that I remember driving through and seeing that street. And I'm looking and I'm like, so I'm retracing in my head what I did. We didn't stop in St. George. I blew right on through. I mean, even I looked up the Cracker Barrel because that's when I stopped at Cracker Barrel. I looked at the Cracker Barrel and it's not in the right place. Anyway, I'm like, the Cracker Barrel's not even the right place. And I'm like, you know what? We were like coming into Provo. Oh man.
Take the next left onto South 270 East.
So what happened is we did drive through St. George, but I just drove straight through, and it was nighttime, and I took a couple of pictures just because we saw some cool things from the freeway. And then we stopped further up just before Provo and had Cracker Barrel. And then I drove up through Provo because the sat-nav took me that way to get back on the freeway. And okay, that makes sense. And that is a pretty town. This whole place just looks like a damn strip mall. There's nothing interesting here at all. And they get blinking yellow lights, which apparently means yield on the turn.
Continue for 3/4 of a mile.
I don't know what that's. And then it's gonna have me turn left again, so I'll stay in this lane. Anyway, that's where I screwed up. I probably wasted a half hour here. I sure didn't mean to. But Provo's really cool. They got a main street through there that has all kinds of really cool old-looking buildings. And
in a 1/4 mile, turn left onto the ramp to I-15 South.
It's still their main street, which is really cool. Okay, here we go.
Turn left onto the ramp to I-15 South, then merge onto I-15 South.
Oh, and this is weird, the way the traffic goes on these bridges, these overpasses. You don't get a left turn lane. You get back here in front of all the other turn lanes, and then you catty corner cross the intersection. The whole bridge is basically an intersection. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know if you can see it, but just to the left of where it says South 15 only, those lights are turned at a 45-degree angle so that we can't see them here. They're the green lights for those people coming from northbound 15 to go to westbound, whatever street this is. She told me just a minute ago. Oh, now I'm on a yellow arrow. Now it's a red arrow. See, I almost missed it. Come on, Ford Exploder. You got to move a little bit quicker. There we go. We're homeward bound again. 5 hours, 57 minutes. 5:19. Yeah, I wasted 20 minutes with that. Sorry about that. Brigham Road. Exit only. Look at this. The views here are there's just all kinds of stuff to look at. But at the end of the day, you're still living in a desert. And I don't care for that. I don't care for that. Pretty landscape, beautiful. But like I say, it's just a desert. At the end of the day, you go out in it and there's no water. There's nothing. It's just, ugh. I don't know how they're getting water to this town either. It's an awful lot of deciduous trees. The colors that are showing up in these trees are a little more reminiscent of Appalachia than the desert. I'm wondering if when they fled Nauvoo and all the rest of that, if they brought seeds for that stuff with them. I'm sure they did. Well, plus two, it's been well over 100 years since all that happened, as you can have that stuff brought in. Anyway, yeah, it was about a 20-minute detour to drive through St. George, not realizing that that's not where I was the other night. What a retard. With the exception of buying gas one more time before I cross state lines, I don't really need to stop. I got lunch in there. I'll probably have lunch because I had a late breakfast. I'll probably have lunch when I buy gas. I've got 275 miles left on this and only 398 miles left to go. So I'm going to have to buy gas, which is the smart thing to do. Buy it before you get back into California, where it's $3.50 a gallon. I still can't get over. Everywhere we went, it was $2 and over a gallon. I didn't think that was going to be the case. Maybe like $1.50. Gas is cheaper, then no big deal. But then, of course, I'm buying Supreme. I prefer to run Supreme in this thing. It is a little bit higher compression engine, and it's got a lot more power. It'll run on regular, but it's got a lot more power when you put. It's like a noticeable difference. So.